What is going on, guys and girls? My name is James and welcome back today to Roblox. How are you doing, everyone? Welcome back, welcome back. Today we are jumping into Bee Swarm Simulator because I am going to share with you today some new information that is actually very, very spicy. So this one is going to be a little bit different from our usual style of videos. However, the information in this episode could potentially change the way that Bee Swarm Simulator is going to be made in the future. This is a big change from the past 3 years of the game. It's very, very interesting, and today we're going to talk about it. I'm going to share everything that I know, and yeah, we'll have a little bit of a chat about it. So this is pretty big news. It might seem a little bit different at first, but trust me, it's pretty spicy. So, 3, 2, 1, claim the hive. Yeah, how are we all doing? Welcome back, everybody. I know it's been a little while since we have done some Bee Swarm on the channel. Of course, as I kind of mentioned, we're in this sort of weird limbo stage right now where there's not a huge amount of new information happening, and I think it's genuinely because Onnit is just in the background right now working on new content for the next update. So, of course, as I'm sure you noticed, there was no Easter event here for Bee Swarm. The egg hunt didn't happen this year in Roblox, or maybe it's been postponed, I'm not too sure. But in terms of Bee Swarm, you haven't missed out on any content. I don't even think there was even an Easter code, which was a little bit surprising, but hey. But yeah, there's a reason why I think Onnit hasn't done anything. And it's going to be shown in this episode. So yeah, firstly, thank you so much once again for joining me. I know it's a little bit of a quieter time on the channel right now, especially for the Bee Swarm content, but it's really awesome that you guys clicked on this video and are going to come and hang out with me for a bit. So yeah, if we can try and get a little bit of Bee Swarm hype back in at the channel, that would be really awesome. If we can try and go for 3,000 likes in this episode, that would be really, really cool. I'd really appreciate that an awful lot. And yeah, just a big thank you as well to everyone who's still been using my Roblox star code. I know we had like a bunch of people use it over Christmas with the Bee Swarm stuff, and you know, a few people still use it every now and again. So if you have used it recently, or if you plan on using it at any point to grab some Robux, that means a lot to me. So just once again, thanks dudes and ladies, everyone, thank you so much. Okay, so in a second we're actually going to be exiting Bee Swarm and we are going to be going onto a website. So yeah, we will jump back into the game to discuss this a little bit later on in the episode, but we are going to be leaving the Bee Swarm world and we are going to be firing up the Roblox developer forums. So I actually saw this, I think it was Bee Swarm Simulator Leaks that did a post about this, I think it was yesterday, and it's really, really interesting information, but it's not on here, it's on the dev forums. So yeah, should we go? Should we take a look? Let's do this. Okay, boom, and here we are now on the Roblox developer forums. So, if you don't know what this is, basically Roblox has like an official platform where developers can have like a forum access where, you know, you can drop your portfolios, you can ask for recruitment, you can like post job offers and stuff like that. And this is like a resource that a lot of Roblox developers use. So fortunately, I actually also have access to these dev forums to post and stuff like that, but I didn't actually see this. And oh, actually, you know what? Let me make this a little bit bigger so you guys can actually see what's going on. There we go. This is a post that Onnit himself made on April the 6th. So this was a few days ago now, and this is Onnit asking for help to develop Bee Swarm Simulator. Now, we're going to take a little look at this article in a second, but the reason why I think this is such big news is because Onnit has been solo developing this game now for 3 years. And he's always pretty much said that it's a solo project and, you know, he enjoys doing it himself and he was never going to be sure what the dynamic is going to be like bringing in some outside help. But it seems that after 3 years, many, many awesome content updates, he is finally ready to consider outsourcing some help in developing the game. Now, the reason why I think this is awesome is because the main reason, it takes pressure off Onnit in order to have to do every single thing himself, and potentially with that access to outside help, it is also going to speed up the development and the update rates for when they are actually released. Yeah, I could probably make it one bigger as well so you guys can kind of read it, but yeah, here we go. This is what it says. So it says, I'm Onnit. Hey Onnit, the developer of Bee Swarm Simulator, a popular beekeeping themed game in which you collect pollen from flower fields, convert it to honey at your beehive, and use that honey to grow your own swarm of helpful, cartoony looking bees. You also complete quests for a variety of friendly bears, and you can learn more about this at BeeSwarmSimulator.com. Did you guys know Bee Swarm has a website? I had no idea, but bear with me. We're going to visit that in just a second as well, because there's something very cool in there that I have never seen before. Anyway, he says, up until this point, the game has been mostly a solo project, but I'm excited to take on help to improve the overall quality and polish of future updates. So he goes on to show a few of the 3D assets which are currently in the game. So we have things like the Cup Buddies here. And then he actually talks about the job itself. So he says, I am looking for an experienced 3D modeler who specializes in low poly, blocky, old school style to match the simplistic look of Bee Swarm Simulator. Okay. I describe the current art direction as colorful, silly, cartoonishly exaggerated, a bit cutesy, and notably handcrafted. Rough around the edges. Specific tasks and duties that would be involved in this job include creating 3D models from descriptions and 2D concept art. The models will range from equipment for both players and bees. Think hats and accessories. So we're thinking here like clothing pieces, you know, shoulder pieces, collectors. We're also thinking bee quips, 3D models, that kind of stuff. He also goes on to ask for various types of plants and critters like beetles, worms, and other bugs. Reworking and polishing existing game assets, for example, creating newly refined models for the various pollen collecting tools and backpacks that already exist in the game. So we'll finish off those in just a second, but already we are looking at new 3D models for a bunch of stuff, new types of plants and critters and mobs for the game, but as well as that, a full 3D model overhaul of a lot of the assets that have already been in the game. So on it here is basically saying that he wants to redesign the game in terms of how some of the items look and have a much more polished product that we can use whilst playing. This is big. This is like a Bee Swarm overhaul, HD update. Jeez, okay, let's carry on. He then goes on to say a familiarity with the game would be greatly preferred, but not necessary. Work may be sporadic with batches of many assets required at once before major updates, followed by months of no assets needed. That sounds pretty much like on it. Since most assets should be relatively simple and lack excessive detail to fit the existing style of the game, I'd estimate that the majority of the assets will require a few hours of work or less, with the project consisting typically of 10 to 30 assets. So he gives here just a few examples of some of the 2D styles of icons. Different bees, different colors. He goes on to show the porcelain dipper here, just one of the models that he has made for the game. And then basically he talks about how much he wants to pay, like $35 an hour, which seems pretty reasonable for modeling. Each project will have its own contract and consists of a batch of multiple assets. Payment will be done as Roblox through group payouts. I would personally pay USD, but hey. And yeah, just some contact details there. So, unfortunately, this is now closed, and we're going to talk about the dev forums and why I think this is kind of strange in just a second. But the weird thing about this is Onnit posted this on April the 6th. Only one person replied, and then the entire thread was locked. So did Onnit find his magical modeler the first time? I don't know. But I thought this was really interesting. And yes, this is an official thing. Onnit is officially outsourcing extra work to help make the game better. And I think that's really good. Oh yeah, side note, before we jump back into the game and talk about that in a little bit more detail, this is actually the Bee Swarm Simulator website. I had no idea this thing existed. It just gives you a bit of like blurb about the game itself. But most importantly, if we scroll down, look at this! What could this be? Stay tuned to find out. Official Bee Swarm merch on its way. This is a plushie. This is a blurred out basic bee plushie. So I guess Onnit is also working on expanding his merchandise range, and I am 100% going to buy this. This is a plushie, so it's not out just yet, but I thought that was a cool little teaser, just in case you're interested. That's going to be a thing. Nice. So yeah, if you made it through all of that, well done, good job. I know it's a little bit different from what we would normally do, but I wanted to make this video for simply the reason as to that is actually excellent news for the future of the game. You know, we've had the kind of situation for many years where there are big long gaps between updates. You know, On It has been overwhelmed pretty much every single time before an update releases. On It gets super duper stressed out. You know, things get delayed. You know, people start shouting at him. You know, that's just not a healthy way to do things. So having that extra help for On It, I think is excellent. I'm surprised it took 3 years, to be honest. But potentially, we could be seeing a lot of brand new and existing models remodeled and newly added into the game, along with all types of different things. So firstly, what I actually really hope I hope he's able to find someone who can not only just do the modeling like a straight up flat, I will do this for this amount of money. I really hope he finds someone who wants to kind of, you know, be more involved in the game. You know, someone that obviously On It is going to be in charge, but, you know, having someone with their own creativity and, you know, someone who can maybe offer ideas and examples and maybe work on things together, I think that would be so good because it would ultimately give us more content to enjoy, hopefully in quicker time periods throughout the year. Now, in terms of the dev forums, I mentioned like I thought it was quite strange that that was posted there, and it's because I have previously used the dev forums myself, and the dev forums are really good because there are lots and lots of different developers, people looking for jobs, this, that, and the other, but it can be very hit and miss when trying to actually find people who are good, basically. So I'm surprised, like, after 3 years of On It being a developer, I'm really shocked that he doesn't have, like, the contacts privately to maybe have someone do modeling for him, or I'm surprised he didn't go on Twitter, to be honest with you. Like, with everyone that I find for any kind of project, I normally always find them on Twitter, and, like, even I have, like, a bunch of contacts with some really talented model makers that I think could have been perfect for Bee Swarm. But yeah, like, I don't know, I was a little bit surprised that it was posted on the dev forums, to be honest with you. It's just not something that I was expecting to see. But ultimately, I'm very glad it was, because it's very good news for Bee Swarm. More models, new models, extra help, hopefully quicker update speeds, teamwork, and more sweet Bee Swarm. Fingers crossed. So yeah, what do you guys think about that? Are you excited to have potentially somebody else working in the background producing stuff for Bee Swarm? Or do you just like the fact that On It is a solo developer working on the game? So what I would suggest here is that I really don't think someone is going to come in straight away and just like start co-developing it. I really don't think that's what it is. I think it is quite simply just a freelance job, and On It's going to be like, hey, make me this new dipper. Can you remake me this rake? It looks rubbish. Hey, what about a big caterpillar? Can you make that for me? So I kind of think it's probably going to be something along those lines, but I don't know, man, I'm excited. I'm actually really excited. I really hope he finds someone awesome. I really hope he does. So yeah, hopefully there's a little bit of an explanation, a little bit of a chat there about all this various stuff. And I know we've only really talked about one thing in this episode, but I did think it was worthwhile sharing that with you guys. Just quite simply because it's such a big change from everything that we know about Bee Swarm and how it's been developed previously. And I've always said this, like, On It is, in terms of Roblox and the Roblox space, Bee Swarm is a very unique game, and On It is a very unique developer in how he actually produces content. You know, you look at games like, I don't know, Adopt Me or whatever, and they have frequent updates, bang. They've got like a big team of people working on it. You know, updates every other weekend or whatever, whereas Bee Swarm is very different. It's one dude, and there's updates maybe twice a year. So I'd like to squeeze the gap a little bit, maybe like 4 updates a year, but I mean, you know, so far so good, right? I mean, he's done such an amazing job, but I think that extra little bit of help, I really hope will make a lot of difference to him. I just want to see new content now. I want to see new content. On It, hire me. I'll be your ideas man. We'll brainstorm. Yeah, it'll be... Actually, don't do that. I've got some terrible ideas for this game. So yeah, unfortunately, I think that's all that I have to say here for this one. So, as always, and as I kind of mentioned, you know, anything that's new, anything that's interesting, anything that I think you guys will want to know, I will make a video as quickly as I can talking about it. And this is just one example of this. So I know there's not much actual gameplay in this one, just me talking about stuff, but I really hope it was still interesting. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. So until then, thanks, and see you.